frustrating in the sense that I don't understand why anybody votes against bringing the idea and having the debate. And then you got all the amendments if you don't like the bill. This is a whole new concept of individuals that just want to burn the whole place down. It doesn't work.
Speaker McCarthy doesn't know what to do about Matt Gaetz and several MAGA Republicans' decision to shut down a procedural vote on a Pentagon funding bill. The roughly half-dozen Republican hardliners are demanding the total control over McCarthy's speakership that he gave them when they held up his confirmation for 4 days and 15 votes. He was frustrated then, too.
Last night I was presented the only way to have 218 votes if I provided certain members with certain positions, certain gavels, to take over the church committee, to have certain budgets. And they even came to the position where one, Matt Gaetz, said, I don't care if we go to plurality and we elect Hakeem Jeffries and it hurts the new frontline members not to get reelected. Well, that's not about America, and I will always fight to put the American people first, not a few individuals that want something for themselves. So we may have a battle on the floor, but the battle is for the conference and the country. I don't see how a few people, maybe it's 5, maybe it's 20, sit because they want a gavel that they can't earn by the conference of themselves. That would be interesting to me. That's not what the constituents voted them for.
What's crazier is this is a procedural vote for defense spending, something nearly every congressperson is usually quick to fund, because even though we're always short on affordable health care, military funding is a standard. And holding up those dollars has other Republicans pissed off.
House Republicans today were even voting against their own defense bill. Is all of this, all of the fight that is happening over spending and funding the government, really worth jeopardizing service members' paychecks?
No, I don't think so. I agree with you. I think in the 20 years I've served in Congress, I've never seen the rule brought down on a defense appropriations bill. I think it's disrespectful to our active duty, to our veterans and our current service members. They deserve better than this from Congress. It's a good bill. And you know who's enjoying this more than anybody, Caitlin, is Chairman Xi in China. He often says to the President Tsai of Taiwan, or he says it to us, democracy doesn't work. Democracy is a failure. I can make a decision like that, and I am more effective than democracy. And what I worry about is we just proved him right with this vote today. We're putting ourselves in jeopardy and emboldening our adversaries.
Are we paying attention? Well, voters listen to what Republican Representative McCall just said. He said it's disrespectful to our active duty and veterans. Chairman Xi in China is enjoying this. They say democracy doesn't work. It's a failure. And I'm afraid we're proving him right with this vote. We're putting ourselves in jeopardy by emboldening our adversaries. That's what Representative McCall said. This is about Republicans he's talking about. Republicans are disrespecting our troops. We're reveling in the fact that Chairman Xi is enjoying this. My party is proving our adversaries right when they say democracy doesn't work. And we're now in jeopardy because our adversaries are emboldened by this Republican-led move. He didn't say it that way, but that's what it is. If he could blame this on Democrats, especially when it comes to defense spending and fears of emboldening our enemies and making us less safe, he'd be saying it on those partisan terms. GOP Representative Mike Garcia was pissed off, too.
I'm disappointed. I am pissed off. Our inability to bring this package to a floor vote because of these 5 individuals who decided to put their personal agendas ahead of the basic requirements of our troops is extremely upsetting to us. It is a bad look to not be able to get a rule through the floor. And when you do that, what you've effectively done is hand the keys of the majority over to the minority.
Besides McCarthy's deal with the devil to secure the powers of the speakership coming home to roost, here's the best part of this embarrassing civil war. Representative Matt Gaetz reposted on X that one reason for their opposition is based on Donald Trump's desire to derail the litany of investigations into his lawlessness. Donald Trump truthed this. A very important deadline is approaching at the end of the month. Republicans in Congress can and must defund all aspect of crooked Joe Biden's weaponized government that refuses to close the border and treats half the country as enemies of the state. He's talking about himself. This is also the last chance to defund these political prosecutions against me and other patriots. They failed on the debt limit, but they must not fail now. Use the power of the purse and defend the country. And to that, Matt Gaetz said, Trump opposes the continuing resolution. Hold the line. And Kevin McCarthy responded with the fact the MAGA crew is currently trying to circumvent. And he said, the challenge here is if the government shuts down, Jack Smith still goes forward. It doesn't stop. That's what we are trying to stop, is the weaponization. We got to be able to fight smartly, is what McCarthy argued. He's right, by the way. 2 of the investigations are in New York and Georgia, and they're being undertaken at the state level, so Congress has no power over those at all. And the 2 federal ones, both led by Jack Smith, are protected from any shutdown, because a Justice Department memo from 2021 makes it clear that federal criminal matters are exempt from government shutdowns. It states that in the event of a shutdown, criminal litigation will continue without interruption as an activity essential to the safety of human life and the protection of property. This is not only a mess, but it doesn't even make sense. But don't tell that to Representative Elise Stefanik, who cozied up to Trump as a MAGA ally a few years ago, and she's stuck trying to spin this damaging infighting as a positive. And of course, Joe Biden's fault.
Republicans have fallen into a state of paralyzed chaos with no obvious exit ramp in a government spending fight of their own creation. Our brand new Fox News poll also puts congressional approval at 19%. So you guys run the House now. What do you tell the American people about the fact that we can't even move a defense bill to fund our troops?
Well, we're in a very good place. I've been engaged in conversation with members as well as Speaker McCarthy over the weekend. We are working through this, and I'm optimistic that we will continue to move the appropriations process forward. But what's really important here, Shannon, is on behalf of the American people, we know inflation is one of the top concerns. 91% of the American people are concerned about inflation. We have to rein in this reckless, out-of-control spending that we've seen under the Biden administration.